They are also now trying reductionist chemicals. The other day means about a year ago or 2 years ago, I was lecturing at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Bombay. They get crores of money for research. And they were telling me, sir, we tried this, Ayurveda is all hocus pocus, sir. We tried this Brahmi, Brahmi ek patta, which is supposed to be good for memory. My grandmother used to give us chutney of Brahmi before we go to the exam. I still remember that. Brahmi, you know that. What do you call that in Hindi? क्या बोलता है इसको? क्या? ब्रह्मी ची? हाँ. एक पत्ता. मलयालम ಎಂತ ಬರೀನೆ? एक ಪತ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲೇ. ಎಂತ ಬರೀನೆ? ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಮರೆ, ನಾವು ತುಳುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಮರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ತಿಮರೆ ಚಟ್ನಿ. ತಿಮರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಭಾಳ ರುಚಿ, very nice. Anyway, they were saying it's useless, sir. We tried so much of things. Then I told them, what did you try? And chemical extract of Brahmi. I said, chemical extract of Brahmi is not Brahmi. I said, why don't you try Brahmi chutney itself? And 2 or 3 boys in the audience, some of these young boys are very, they are imaginative. They said, yes. But they came and told me, sir, we won't get any grant for this. I said, why don't you? You just write to the DRDO and you will get, or DST. Why not you get it? So I talked to the secretary of DST. I said, why don't you fund this kind of refutative research? All your rubbish research, crores of rupees of taxpayers' money is wasted on repetitive research. Me too research. Somebody has done in America something, I am going to do it here and see what happens. This is called repetitive research. Remember, knowledge does not advance by repeating known things. Knowledge advances by refuting false dogmas. I'll give you an example. 127 AD, Galen said, blood circulates from the liver. Okay? For 1,500 years, every ass of a professor, researcher, PhD said, liver pumps blood. It was in the year 1628, a London doctor, practicing doctor who didn't have much practice, who was going for a walk in the evening, saw a fire hydrant and got some stimulated idea and went back to his laboratory and did lot of dissection of animals and found out heart pumps blood, and he said, demoto cordis. In Latin, demoto cordis is heart pumps blood. That was in 1628. That means 1,500 years every ass thought liver pumps blood. They taught the same thing in the medical school. Can you believe that? So repeating known things does not take knowledge forwards. Refuting false dogmas takes knowledge forwards, said Karl Popper, a great thinker who was a professor of science philosophy in the London School of Economics in the 50s and 60s. He's a colossus. Popper said, think of refuting false dogmas, of which there are many in every field, every single field. That's what Crick was saying. This economics, which we think is economics, macroeconomics, is going to end sooner than later. The signs are already there in the horizon. Trump coming up. The whole media is saying Hillary will come up. And suddenly Trump comes up. See? Brexit. Cameron was so happy, so confident that no, what is happening, I'll come. Something has come up. The white supremacy is coming up, which means we'll go back to the time of the Nazis again. See, think of it. White supremacy in America. Here is a very funny system. The American system is such that only the rich people will win at the end of the day. Hillary gets thousands of votes more than Trump in the popular vote. But in the collegiate system, he gets more. How can you believe that? Very funny, isn't it? Very funny. Now, these are all signs. So I say, Western science has had an overdose of itself. And sooner than later, this science will be exposed. Do you understand that? If any one of you is keen on reading, younger generation, I'll give you a book, nice book, written by 2 physics professors in New York, called The Golem. The book's name is The Golem, Golem. എഴുതിയ മോനെ ഗോലം എന്താ മലയാളത്തിലെ ഇനി lot of Malayalis here. What golem? Golem എന്ത് യെസ് ഗോളമല്ല മോളെ ഗോലം എന്ത് GOLEM is the Hebrew word. It's not an English word. Hebrew and Malayalam are same meaning. In Hebrew, Golem, golem means scarecrow. മലയാളത്തിൽ അതന്നെ അതാ പിന്നെ ഞാനെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു ഇല്ല മോളെ. So this is a beautiful book which says the golem. That means science as we are taught in school and college is something that has been created by the Wall Street greed to keep us under their control. See, today, for example, you say, oh, Western medicine is scientific. Oh, it's scientific? Yeah, I'll take it. What is science? Tell me what is science? The vice president of the dental association. Keep you under control. You think, oh, it is scientific, then it must be good. They say, evidence-based science. Western medicine is evidence-based science. Where is evidence? That you don't ask. You say evidence-based science. Oh, this Ayurveda? No, it's not good. No, not science. Who said it's not science? Actually, Ayurveda is a bigger science than the Western science. And the Western medical science is totally wrong, totally flawed. And this became a science. If you want to know the history, you'll be shocked. How did medicine become a science? The Western medicine started as mumbo jumbo, sorcery and witchcraft on the Nile Valley 5,000 years ago. From there it moved. From Nile Valley it moved, it came to Egypt. And in Egypt, then other parts of Egypt had a lot of time. Then it came to Arabia, actually. And in Arabia, there was a great man called Ibn Sina, whom the Westerners call as Avicenna. He's not Avicenna, he's Ibn Sina, I-B-N-S-I-E-N. Ibn Sina did a lot of modifications for the Western medicine. And from here it went to Greece. And by the time it reached Greece, Alexander the Great had invaded India and come back. He died in Persia. But Alexander's followers came back to Alexandria, a city which he had built for intellectual activity. And the big building he had built called Academia. So we say, I'm in academics. You ask the people, what is academics? They won't know. This academics means reading books and going to the library is called academy. No. Academia is the building where academics started. Where people come and have two kinds of things. A, symposium. They come and talk like this, agree to disagree, eat and dine and wine and go. Or seminar. Seminar comes from semen. So seminar is a discussion where new thoughts come out. Now, so new things born. Today we interchangeably use it in any way you like. But the original thing is symposium is totally different from seminar. Seminar is different from symposium. That is why academics, anybody who goes there is supposed to be an academic. Not because you go to the library and have a PhD. You know what PhD is? Huh? PhD? Doctor of Philosophy. Huh? Good. Yes. No. If you steal from one person, it's called plagiarism. When you steal from 100 people, it's called PhD. Did you get that? Yeah, that's the difference between the two. Plagiarism also, high level people do plagiarism, doesn't matter. But if you, today in India, the situation is a little different. I don't know how many of you know. The UGC said even to become an assistant professor, you must have a PhD. So we have PhDs galore now. Very interesting. Every other person is a PhD. And it's very easy to get PhD because, even in America you can get PhD. If there are the institutions where you give $5,000, you'll get a PhD thesis written and you get a PhD. In India, it is still cheaper. You don't have to go that far. You get very cheap. There are people who write PhD thesis. You have to give them the subject. There are examiners who give you a pass. There are universities which connive with that. Can you believe that? All this happens because the greed at the end. It's again economics greed. If you get a PhD, you get a promotion. If you get a PhD, you get a higher pay. If you get a PhD, you're better. So it's better than the others. It's one-upmanship. So this is how the world runs. Remember that? Now come back to Douglas Black's work. What did Douglas Wallace show? Any drug that you give, which is a reductionist chemical, destroys the body, destroys the liver, and damages the liver, And if any good effect comes, it is from what little comes out of the liver. And the leading cause of death today in the West is adverse drug reactions. And the doctor's establishment is the leading cause of death. Did you know that? The medical establishment is the leading cause of death. In 5 countries in the last 25 years, doctors went on strike where there are no private doctors. Saskatchewan in Canada 25 years ago, Los Angeles County 15 years ago, Bogota in Colombia 10 years ago, and recently in Israel. Doctors went on strike. An audit now shows each time the doctors went on strike, death rate simply disappeared, almost came down. Morbidity came down. Can you believe that? Nurses were running the hospital. Recently in Dublin, there is a very interesting thing. The junior doctors went on strike. The senior consultants were still holding fort. But the senior consultant has forgotten how to give intravenous drips and, the simple things, the procedures, how to incise an abscess, etc., etc. So much so, interventions came down, and mortality came down, and morbidity came down. British Medical Journal wrote a beautiful editorial. Doctors going on strike will improve society's health for sure. Did you get that? Now comes the very famous 14-country study of the industrialist countries from Japan to USA. And this study is published. You want the reference? Write down. Is US medicine the best in the world? That's the heading. Nama Doctors Forum, our ophthalmologist is writing. Is US medicine the best in the world? Write down. That's the heading. The author's name is Barbara Starfield, who teaches community medicine in Johns Hopkins Hospital. She's a very nice girl. And they wanted to kill her. Eventually she died of an accident. I don't know whether she is killed or not. And this article came in the JAMA, J-A-M-A. Model dia? 2000. Year is 2000. Semicolon. Volume is 284. Colon. Page is 483. Vaikanam. This is a free article. You go to Google and say Barbara Starfield, is US medicine the best in the world? JAMA 2000 semicolon 284 colon 483. And you will see for your shock that the leading cause of death is the medical establishment. Why? Over-intervention, over-diagnosis, mismanagement, over-management, under-management. A study showed that people who don't have high blood pressure, genuine disease, just their pressure is slightly raised when they see a doctor, which is called white coat hypertension. These people are unnecessarily drugged and the drugs produce problems. People who have genuine high blood pressure with a lot of problems, they are not adequately treated and they die. So they have either over-treatment or under-treatment. Seeing this, Mary Tinetti, who is the professor of medicine in Yale, wrote a nice study in the Archives of Internal Medicine. Archives of Internal Medicine. That heading is, write down the heading. Mary Tinetti. Mary, M-A-R-Y, T-I-N-N-E-T-T-I. Mary Tinetti. The end of the disease era. That's the heading of the article. What's the heading of the article? The end of the disease era. That means this diagnosis is the curse. Diagnosis is a disease in itself. You make a diagnosis and attack it. You know what happens to the human being, you're not worried. You're only worried attacking the diagnosis. Archives of Internal Medicine. Arch Int Med 2004. Volume 116. Page 179. Now read this, and Mary tells you that all that we do today is either over-treatment, under-treatment, mistreatment or maltreatment, but not real treatment. Anyway, why did I say all this this preface? Just to tell you that you are here because of you and not because of doctors. You are here if you are alive. In spite of doctors, you are terribly lucky. Did you get that message? Just telling you the truth. That is, you are cured by your own immune system. This is the most important thing. And our job should be to boost our immune system. That's the essence of Ayurveda. Swastasya swastha rakshitam. Preserve the health of the well. How do you do that? Boost the immune system. Panchakarma, for example. Ayurveda's thrust is Panchakarma. There are 5 methods of boosting your immune system. But I tell you, better than that, there's only one system. Love everybody. Love everybody. Hate nobody. Don't do anything in overdose. Do what you love and love what you do. Have a wife or husband of your choice if you can. But if you can't, love the husband or the wife that you get. ശരിയല്ല മോളെ? All wives are happy. All wives are happy. But the truth, there's a beautiful book called Stress and Distress, written by one of the Pandits of stress research called, what is his name? O'Malley. No, his name is something else. Anyway, I'll come back to that. And he writes there beautifully, if you love what you do, and if you love your surroundings, all the associates, you love your boss, you love your assistant, you love your wife, you love your husband, you have no problem at all in life. Our problem is we don't love people. We hate people, H-A-T-E, and that's the most dangerous thing to happen. When you hate somebody, your problems start. That is why in Ayurveda, there are 5 levels of the mind. The mind is one word in English language, but in Sanskrit there are 5 levels. Manas is the mind of a child. So beautiful. Have you seen a child, newborn child, recently? No. If you're not, go to the maternity ward and see the newborn child. There are 2 kinds of children. One child comes out and very curious. Another child, the first one is coming here for the first time, so it's curious to know what's happening. The second one has come here several times, it couldn't care less what is happening. It has seen it all. But they smile at everyone the minute they start spotting people. Maybe a few months. Smile at anybody. BMX comes, it smiles. Jiten comes, it smiles. And whoever comes, it smiles. But do you do that? No, you don't do that. You smile at certain people and you don't want to see someone else's face. That is where the problem starts. I've been following this, what's called HRV. We were doing studies for about 40 years now. Heart rate variability. A child's heart is very interesting. When the child breathes, the heart runs fast. When the child breathes out, it runs slow. Which we, foolish Western physiologists, call it as sinus arrhythmia. That is the real rhythmia. Arrhythmia is health and rhythmia is death. Now, as you grow old and start hating people, then your heart becomes regular and regular and regular and regular. HRV decreases. And the day it totally stops and you're absolutely regular, you're dead. Don't laugh, I'm seriously telling you. I wish I had my slides to show you how this happens. These people who become absolutely regular are dead within about a couple of hours. But you can bring them from that state to the child state by doing pranayama. So beautifully. And pranayama is so good that you can bring them back to what's called tranquility. And that's where you can treat or use preventive measures. Yoga has that capacity to do that. That's why, thanks to our Prime Minister, yoga has now been recognized all over the world. A movement which he moved in the UNO, record 172 countries okayed it to have 21st of June as the International Yoga Day. 172 countries. And today you must see, I was in Lisbon last year. They invited me. There's a fascinating place in Lisbon. And there's a man who is Portuguese, but calls himself Swami Surya Prakash Ananda or somebody, and has the ochre robe. And he has got a big band of people doing yoga. And I was there for the 21st, and then we went up to the days, and one old lady comes. Oh, how old is she? 98. And she says, I've been doing yoga for the last 40 years. And she comes, it's a very high days, and some of us had to be helped. She just jumps up and comes. I always tell, you can say a man is healthy or not by knowing what he takes 2 at a time. Did you get that? Stairs and pills. If he takes 2 stairs at a time, he will live another 50 years. If he takes 2 pills at a time, I don't know how long he will live. This girl was taking 2 steps, jumping, 2 stairs. And then she comes and we stand there and we all say, Om. This girl says, Om. By the time we all finished, this girl was still saying, Om. 98. Can you believe that? Such a long vital capacity. So much of vital capacity. Maximum breathing capacity. And her joints were so good because she was using them. That's why now for the Canadian Gerontology Association, I've told them, you teach your people 2 things. A, Indian dance forms, Bharatanatyam. If you are a Bharatanatyam exponent, your joints will be supple even when you're 100. And if you're one of those chanting the Om, your maximum breathing capacity will remain the same for any number of years you will live. The 2 things that happen as age advances, A, joint mobility comes down, B, the vital capacity comes down. And you must see these people. And that's how the sinus arrhythmia of a child comes back to the adult also when once you become a child. When do you become a child? When you have no hang-ups. Child has no hang-up. I shouldn't talk to these people. No, I should, this is a meeting, I should like this and I should. Why all those restrictions? You want to yawn? Yawn to your heart's content. Child yawns, no? You must see the sophisticated westernized lady. Why that? You want to, burp? Burp. It's normal. You want to fart loudly. What is there? Haven't you seen Auden's poem on farting? He says, you must know how to fart. Very nice. Auden, very big English poem. He says, his poem is there. No man can smell his fart. You can smell everyone else's fart, not yours. Some realize, a child doesn't restrict it. Supposing it wants to fart, just a child doesn't say, I'll hold it on. Each time you hold it on, your blood pressure goes up. You're holding it on, breathing against closed glottis, which is Valsalva maneuver. You're almost killing yourself. Remember that. Fart, man. What is there? No, I'm just not joking. Seriously telling you. Become a child. Become a child in every aspect of it. That means your heart rate variability will come back to child sinus arrhythmia. And when once that happens, that's why that is a manas. Now the child is sent to school. Right? There, child is given some information. Time I am on. Jan is restrict time illa ingane paranjade. Angane, sheri. Time limit restricts, Yesterday I was worried because, the time is there, so much of programs to go on, and the children were waiting for dancing, etc. So I didn't want to. Restrict and the blood pressure went up. Innella free for all. So what happens? You just send the child to school. School is said, this is BMI day, this is so and so, that is so and so, this is so and so, etc., etc. And that level of the mind is called buddhi. You know what buddhi is? What you are told. You are told. You are told you should not fart in public. That's buddhi. But child doesn't have buddhi, it's a manas. It farts. So buddhi. That's why I say every newborn child is a genius, wrote Alexis Carrel, only to be converted an idiot in school. So you become an idiot. So when the minute you become an idiot, then you become buddhi. Then after buddhi is the next level, where buddhi creates chitta. Chitta is buddhi plus ego. I am B.M. Hegde. I am A, B, C, D, E, F, G or some whatever it is. That is called chitta. And that's the level you get lot of problems in the mind. Chitta, vritti, undulations. Nirodha yogaha, Patanjali wrote. At the chitta level, you have so much of agitation in the mind. If you can control it, put a nirod there, not the government one, it leaks, but the real one.